James Corden will step down as the host of The Late Late Show at the end of next season amid plans to spend more time back home in the UK, Daily Mail. Com can confirm, the Brit, 43, made the decision to quit at the end of season 8 despite the best efforts of CBS executives who exclusively told Daily Mail. Com that they desperately tried to keep him for longer. The star and his wife of 10 years Jules are mulling over a return to the UK with their 3 children Max, 11, Carey, 7, and Charlotte, 4, but they are still trying to figure out what's next for the family. An insider tells DailyMail.com that spending more time in the UK when the show ends is definitely on the horizon. Another source suggested he is planning on moving close to West Ham United's London Stadium in East London. An insider told The Sun, James and Jules have had barely any time to see their families in the UK over the past few years due to his work schedule. They will go backwards and forwards for a while. Long term, they both want to see more of their parents and are considering a permanent move back in a couple of years. They sold their house in London so would have to look for a new base in the capital. The Late Late Show, which films out of Los Angeles, first premiered in 1995 with host Tom Snyder. Craig Kilborn and Craig Ferguson followed as host until James Corden came along in 2015. Corden promised to go out with a bang as he informed audiences of his decision to step down as the host of The Late Late Show. Revealing the news during the latest episode of the U.S. talk show, he said the show had changed my life and promised there would be lots of tears when his tenure came to an end. 7.5 years ago I started hosting this show and there's no other way to put it, it has changed my life, he said. I never saw it as my final destination, and I never want this show to overstay its welcome. I love making it and I really think in a year from now that will be a good time to move on and see what's out there. He added, we are all determined to make this the best year we have ever had, we are going to go out with a bang. The fact that you watch this all over the world is an absolute privilege for me and every single person who makes this show. We, CBS, desperately tried to keep him for longer but James only wanted to do one final year that will keep him on the show until next year, a senior CBS source revealed. H has been such a hit for us for so many years, we will miss him very much. It's very rare to find a talent who can redefine a long-running format. His skits went viral globally, smashing records and creating the most watched online clips in the history of late-night TV, they continued. The biggest stars in the world have appeared on his show, which even took him to the White House. Corden told Deadline it's been a difficult decision after enjoying such huge success. It's a really hard decision to leave because I'm so immensely proud of the show. I'm thrilled to be extending, for a year. I always thought I'd do it for 5 years and then leave and then I stayed on. I've really been thinking about it for a long time, thinking whether there might be one more adventure. When asked if he plans to move home, Corden said he and his wife genuinely don't know the answer to that. It's something we think about and we talk about a lot but we haven't really made a decision on that yet. That's the life side of things which we'll figure out, he added. I love living here, in LA. I love everything it's given, my family and I have never taken this incredible adventure for granted. Every day I drive down Sunset to work and I just think I'm from High Wycombe. He did admit HES eager to spend more time with his close pal Mark Noble, who is the captain of his favorite football team West Ham United. Noble is retiring at the end of this season. H is the happiest that I'm not leaving in September because HES desperate to get out and play some golf, Corden said. I'll have been here for 8.5 years, HES been at that club since he was 9. Nothing makes me happier to be thought of in the same breath as Mark Noble, but I would be undeserving of such praise. An insider added to Daily Mail, "What's next? Well, James is focused on producing a really spectacular current and final season of the show. He'll also be launching Mammals in autumn, fall, which he is excited about. However, more time in the UK after filming Wraps is definitely on the horizon as he is very close with his family there." Under Corden's tenure at The Late Late Show, he developed smash hit segments like Carpool Karaoke, where he drives a celebrity around and they sing together. Carpool Karaoke was later spun off into its own show for Apple in 2017 and even took home an Emmy Award. It currently in season 5, he told us that he has had an amazing time and is incredibly grateful to CBS but feels now is right time to go out on a high and make his final year the biggest one yet, a CBS source said. James and the show have won countless Emmys. HES won a Critics' Choice as well as winning a Tony Award in 2012 before taking his post at CBS. He immediately won critics and fans over as well as the huge celebrities he managed to secure. The father of 3 has previously referred to his team on the show as his family and even paid him out of his own pocket during the pandemic. James' time at the network has not been without controversy. However, in 2021, the show was forced to change one of Corden's more famous skits, Spill Your Guts, after it is accused of being anti-Asian. The segment, which has featured stars such as Justin Bieber, Kendall Jenner and Chrissy Teigen, sees participants presented with the choice of either answering a prying question or eating something dubbed gross. Several of the unpalatable items hailed from Asian culture and Corden himself had called many of them disgusting. Last summer, a TikTok user launched the Change.org petition which garnered nearly 50,000 signatures and James later announced on The Howard Stern Show that he would no longer use Asian foods in the segment. But Corden admits leaving the show will be a bittersweet farewell for him. "I'll miss the adrenaline of thinking next week I'm going to jump out of a plane with Tom Cruise or in 2 weeks' time, we're going to drive around the White House in a car with Michelle Obama or sing Penny Lane with Paul McCartney driving down Penny Lane," he said. Beyond his own show, James hosted the Tony Awards and Grammy Awards, as well as fronting other prime-time shows for CBS and the Friends reunion for HBO Max. He also has a film career starring in movies like Peter Rabbit, Prom, Into the Woods, Trolls and Cats. He will appear in a new Prime Video drama, Mammals, later this year, his first British TV role since his Gavin and Stacey Christmas special broke records as the most-watched non-spring event in the UK of the last decade. From Hollyoaks to Hollywood, how lad from High Wycombe who started out in soap became friend of royalty and one half of Tinseltown power couple with some of showbiz's biggest players on speed dial. James Corden is set to leave The Late Late Show to spend more time with his family in the UK, capping an extraordinary journey for a star who first found fame as an Essex lad before schmoozing his way into a Los Angeles lifestyle that rivals that of any global megastar. Corden and his interior designer wife Julia have a roll call of Hollywood royalty on speed dial after carefully cultivating connections with the industry's biggest movers and shakers. The Cordens' social status was cemented when they were invited to the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's wedding, where James was asked to compare the private evening reception. There they were spotted chatting with the Clooneys who, it turns out, are among the clients of Julius interior design brand Charles Co. Also there were David and Victoria Beckham, who also called upon the firm when it came to redecorating. Among the Cordens' close friends are Harry Styles and Dominic Cooper, while James has had everyone from Sir Elton John to Tom Hanks and Lady Gaga on his show. The couple also boast a home worthy of Hollywood superstars, living in a £7.3 million mansion in Brentwood, an upmarket LA suburb, with their 3 children. The property has 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms and a pool, plus such typically Hollywood features as a wood-paneled library, cinema room and gym. However, it wasn't all glitz and glamour for Corden. The actor, 43, made his first stage appearance at the age of 18 in a one-line role. He then went on to interview Meat Loaf before enjoying a small role in an episode of Hollyoaks. He first came to prominence from 2000 to 2005, when he starred in Fat Friends as Jamie Reimer. His work in the series earned him a nomination for the 2000 Royal Television Society Award for Network Newcomer on Screen. Corden's Fat Friends co-star Ruth Jones would play a pivotal role in his future, with the two combining for the popular BBC Three sitcom Gavin and Stacey. The duo co-wrote the smash hit show and also starred as the titular characters' friends. His role as Essex lad Smithy catapulted Corden into British stardom. Suddenly, his face was everywhere and starred editions of Comic Relief, performed England's World Cup football song with Dizzy Rascal and was even given a guest role in an episode of Doctor Who. The Gavin and Stacey star first cracked America when his stage show One Man Two Guvnors transferred to Broadway in 2012 after a successful stint in the West End. He was then catapulted to worldwide fame after he made his debut as the presenter of The Late, Late Show in 2015, taking over the role from Craig Ferguson. With the immense popularity of segments like Carpool Karaoke, James has become one of America's most beloved late-night presenters. And thanks to his success on The Late, Late Show, James has landed a number of roles in Hollywood films like Into the Woods and The Prom, and he has also hosted the Tony Awards. He has since reportedly more than doubled his wealth to a whopping £50 million after moving to Hollywood. Following his move to LA, James has become one of the partners at film production company Fulwell 73 and seen his assets swell. He was previously estimated as being worth around £22 million, however in the latest accounts from his company the business assets are declared as £140 million. The star also has earnings from his film and TV roles, with him thought to earn $7 million for The Late Late Show, as well as millions of dollars tied up in his properties. From decorating the homes of celebrities to hosting them on a chat show, Julia and James have settled into the center of life in Los Angeles. Since relocating to the States, Corden has drawn other high-profile pals into his circle, including U2 frontman Bono and actor Sean Penn. Mary Poppins actress Emily Blunt and her American husband John Krasinski, one of Hollywood's most popular power couples, are regular guests at his home. When he was still a jobbing actor, known mainly for his role in the Alan Bennett play The History Boys, Corden shared a flat above a London donut shop with Dominic Cooper. Corden joked that there was no furniture and only one piece of cutlery, a spatula, and that the fridge contained only half a vitamin water and a Lindt chocolate bunny. Today, he shares a £7.3 million mansion in Brentwood, an upmarket LA suburb, with Julia and their 3 children. There are 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms and a pool, plus such typically Hollywood features as a wood-paneled library, cinema room and gym. It also has its own spa and an office complete with high-tech film editing facilities. While he stays in LA, Corden rents out the family's £3 million London home in leafy Belsize Park for about £15,000 a month. His neighbors in Brentwood, just a 20-minute drive from the CBS studios where his chat show is filmed, include Gwyneth Paltrow, Cindy Crawford, Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg. The children are happy and healthy and love their circle of friends, says the source. James is a devoted dad and spends a lot of time with the kids. His weekends are sacrosanct. James knows none of this success would mean anything without Julia's love and support. His family means everything to him. Out on the town, Corden favors the luxurious Tower Bar at the Sunset Tower Hotel in West Hollywood, where phone calls and photos are banned. Jennifer Aniston held her 50th birthday party there in February. Corden's tipple? Don Julio 1492 tequila at £120 a bottle. The best parties are at his house, says the source. He'll hire a team of private chefs and you never know who will be there, from the heads of TV networks to stars like Emily Blunt. There is, too, an unlikely friendship with Anna Wintour, the formidable British editor of American Vogue. They met after Anna saw Corden in the Broadway version of the play One Man, Two Guvnors in 2011 and sent him a card telling him she was his biggest fan. Through her, he has met everyone, says the source. James Carpool Karaoke has seen the funny man bantering with megastars like Madonna, Britney Spears and Adele. Meanwhile, stars among their closest circle include One Direction star Harry Styles, with Corden recently lending him his Palm Springs home while the musician was shooting his part in Wild's new movie. His relationship with Mamma Mia star Dominic Cooper dates back to 2004 when they were rooming together and starring in The History Boys, a British campus comedy. Speaking of their days sharing a flat in London on James' chat show, The Late Late Show, Dominic reminisced on how they would often sleep in the same bed due to the lack of furniture. He said, "We were never there at the same time much, were we? But when we were, there was absolutely no furniture. We had a bed, one bed, we only had one piece of cutlery which was a spatula. I remember one depressing evening, he caught me, he came home and I was eating baked beans with the spatula." James added, "We rented it furnished, it had no furniture in it and we never thought to complain." It was Dominic who introduced James to now-wife Julia, who was an old-school friend of his. He told People, "I said, 'Hi, Jules, you might be the most beautiful woman in the world.' She said, 'Well, thank you very much, that sounds like something you say a lot.' And I said, 'I've never said it before in my life.' That was it, really. I was in, and by an absolute miracle, so was she." Later, the two slinked off to a corner to plan the rest of their lives, with James revealing, "First remember saying to her, 'Well, what about on Friday we could do nothing together? You could come over and we could just do nothing. And then maybe we could do nothing on Saturday, and we could do nothing on the Sunday. And if our evenings are enough of nothing, then maybe this would become something.' And she said, 'That sounds like a fun idea.'" James proposed on holiday in the Maldives in 2008, while Julia was expecting their eldest son Max. They married in September 2012 at Babington House, with a spectacular guest list including Lara Stone, comedian Michael McIntyre, and Snow Patrol lead singer Gary Lightbody. The couple also have two daughters, Charlotte, 6, and Carey, 3. James and Prince Harry have been friends for years. He previously told People, the friendship mostly started with being out and about the same places in London. The chat show host and his wife Julia attended the royal wedding to Meghan Markle in May 2018. At the time, he described the nuptials, revealing, "It was so lovely. I've known Prince Harry about 7 years now and it was wonderful. It was one of the most beautiful ceremonies I've ever been to. It was gorgeous. It was a whole affair. It was happy. It was joyous. It was uplifting." James made a show-stopping entrance to the palace afterparty as it was claimed he arrived at Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding reception dressed up as King Henry VIII. At the time, People magazine reported the presenter arrived last to the reception, clad in the monarch's signature Tudor costume, saying he didn't know what to wear. He said, "Harry asked me to do some kind of performance. It was fun. It was a really special day." Meanwhile, the presenter also stole the march on Oprah by airing his antics with Prince Harry days before the primetime interview that enraged Buckingham Palace. In a wide-ranging chat mostly carried out on an open-top bus, the Duke of Sussex, or Haas, as Corden calls him, reveals he went from 0 to 60 with Meghan and how the pressures of living in London were destroying my mental health. Meanwhile, Julia is co-founded of the interior design company Charles Co., which counts the Beckhams among its clients, while James has a successful acting and presenting career. His wife Julia runs a hugely successful and popular interior design company. With a background in TV production, talent management and PR, she founded Charles Co. in 2016 with Vicky Charles, who was the design director for Soho House, having worked for the group for 20 years. The pair were introduced by Soho House CEO Nick Jones and set up the business while Julia was taking time off to have her children. She handles the business side of Charles' company, recently telling The Telegraph her role is to allow Vicky to be as creative as possible. High-profile clients include the Beckhams, the Clooneys, Emma Stone, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Builds for the pair usually include a social, club-like spaces within their homes, including bars, wine cellars, playrooms and even libraries. Meanwhile, others might value a recording studio, with Julia revealing, being able to record a little voiceover without having to leave your house can make a huge difference, especially if you live outside the city. Last year, James was unveiled as the new ambassador for WW, previously known as Weight Watchers, after becoming embarrassed over his body. During a chat with Oprah Winfrey on WW's Facebook page, he revealed he hates doing exercise but his wife Julia plans circuits for them to do. James revealed in the new year that he has signed up to the health and fitness program to help shift the conversation around wellness. He said, "I want to change the way that I live. I want to be better for my children and for my family. I don't want to wake up tired, or feel embarrassed when I'm chasing my son on the soccer field and out of breath after 3 minutes." James has been candid about his weight struggles in the past, and back in 2017 he shed 6 stone in weight and found major success in Hollywood. However, he has also admitted the one food that he can't stop eating is bread. Speaking about the last time he was off bread for dietary reasons, James recalled an incident while he was out at dinner saying, "I have a sort of battle with food. Then they delivered this basket of warm, fresh bread and were like, 'It's happening, we're doing it. Who are we trying to kid? It's our nemesis, it's out to destroy us.'"